Welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be checking out the budget bikes that can rack up 400,000 miles without breaking a sweat. Number 7. Yamaha V-Star 650. The Yamaha V-Star 650 is the kind of affordable cruiser that makes you wonder why anyone spends a fortune on chrome and noise. This machine simply works, reliably, cheaply, and for a staggering distance. We're talking 400,000 miles without the unnecessary drama. With used prices sitting around $3,000 to $4,000, it doesn't smack your wallet around. Yet it still delivers that classic cruiser vibe with enough steel and character to take you across the country or just down to the diner for waffles. Its air-cooled V-twin engine is old-school simplicity at its best, which is exactly what you want when your goal is to ride forever. No fancy electronics lurking around waiting to short-circuit your savings. Maintenance is DIY-friendly too. Adjusting the valves won't demand a rocket science degree or a second mortgage. Riders who've racked up well over 200,000 miles on stock motors treat the V-Star's reliability like a sacred belief. And thanks to the shaft drive, you're dealing with fewer chains to lube and more miles to enjoy. Parts are cheap, everywhere, and oil changes cost about the same as a couple of good burgers. Insurance is low as well. In short, the Yamaha V-Star 650 proves you don't need a $15,000 touring monster to ride into the sunset. All you really need is a solid bike, a trustworthy wrench, and the willingness to rely on a machine that's outlived more sport bikes than it can count. Number 6. Kawasaki Vulcan 900. The Kawasaki Vulcan 900 is like that dependable coworker who arrives early, never complains, and somehow still manages to look cool doing it. This bike isn't just affordable, it's shockingly capable of going the distance. Riders across the US have put 300 to 400,000 miles on these things without needing engine replacements or therapy sessions. You can grab a well-maintained used Vulcan for around $4,000 to $5,000, and it'll still have plenty of life breathing in those pistons. What makes the Vulcan 900 such a mileage champion is its liquid-cooled V-twin engine. Smooth, efficient, and incredibly easy to maintain. It doesn't overheat, doesn't beg for attention, and simply glides. It feels bigger than a 650. Yet without the fuel-guzzling drama of the heavyweight cruisers. And that fuel economy? Expect something in the 40 mpg range, meaning more road and less awkward gas station small talk. The belt drive is another huge advantage. It's cleaner, quieter, and easier to live with than a chain. Comfort-wise, it's built to devour miles, wide seat, relaxed rider triangle, and decent wind protection, with an aftermarket windshield. It's cruiser life without the chiropractor appointments. Overall, the Kawasaki Vulcan 900 doesn't need hype. It's a workhorse dressed in classic cruiser style, a machine that'll take you coast to coast and still have enough left to carry you back. For a few grand, you're getting a long-haul partner that's almost suspiciously good at the endurance game. Number 5. Honda Nighthawk 750. The Honda Nighthawk 750 is the motorcycle equivalent of that one uncle who never ages, never breaks, and somehow always knows how to fix your leaky sink. Built with Honda's no-nonsense engineering, this bike is pretty much the poster child for long-term, low-maintenance longevity. With clean used models often under $4,000, it's one of the least expensive tickets to 400,000 miles of mechanical peace. Its heart is Honda's indestructible inline-4 engine, smooth, bulletproof, and borderline immortal. This isn't a fragile, high-strung sport bike motor. This thing just keeps plowing through decade after decade like it's trying to win a bet against time itself. It won't leak, won't burn oil, and if you simply change fluids and check the valves occasionally, it'll probably outlive you and end up in your grandkid's garage. No fuel injection here, just simple carbs, which in this case is a blessing. Fewer sensors, no ECU tantrums, just dependable mechanical life. Maintenance costs? Laughably cheap. Chain, oil, tires, repeat. Replacement parts are still easily available and won't require a treasure hunt or dealership prayers. All in all, the Honda Nighthawk 750 is one of those rare machines that can pile on serious mileage without making a scene. It doesn't brag, doesn't show off, it just gets the job done. Number 4. Suzuki 250 times. The Suzuki 250 times proves that small displacement doesn't equal small potential. It's light, friendly, and will outlast your expectations. And probably your car. Riders have documented these little singles pushing beyond 200,000 miles without even whimpering. And with obsessive care, they can flirt with 400,000. All that durability comes wrapped in a retro-styled package you can usually find used for $2,000 to $3,000. That's pocket change for a machine with this much stubborn grit. Its fuel-injected, air-cooled single-cylinder engine is unbelievably simple. 1 cylinder, 2 valves, 0 attitude. It's basically a sewing machine that does 60 miles per hour and sips fuel like it's saving for an emergency. Sure, it's not made for freeway battles, but for commuting, weekend wandering, and those let's just ride because we can moments, it's perfect. Maintenance is practically non-existent. Valve checks are simple, and oil changes take minutes. The TU 250 times is the kind of bike you can wrench on in your garage without cursing or typing into Google, "Why does my engine sound like a blender?" In the end, the Suzuki 250 times is a budget warrior. It doesn't pretend to be quick, but it excels at being forever. If you want a charming little machine that goes the distance for pennies, this is the bike you marry, not casually date. Number 3. Kawasaki Versys 650. The Kawasaki Versys 650 is what happens when a commuter bike and an adventure bike fall in love and end up with an overachiever. It's not just versatile, it's surprisingly capable, and more importantly, one of the few budget-friendly bikes that laughs at mileage limits. Riders have taken these well past 300,000 miles with basic upkeep. And if you treat it right, 400,000 isn't a dream, it's a plan. Used models typically sit around $4 to $5,000, making it one of the best bargains for what you get. Its liquid-cooled parallel twin is a little gem, smooth, economical, and tough enough to handle rush hour abuse. Kawasaki didn't overthink the design, and that simplicity is the magic. It runs forever, starts every time, and stays cool whether you're slicing through urban chaos or coasting along mountain curves. What really makes the Versys stand out is how little it demands from you. Valve intervals are generous, chain maintenance is straightforward, and almost nothing ever goes catastrophically wrong. Ride it all year, in nearly every condition that doesn't involve quicksand, and it still just shrugs and asks for more. It's also surprisingly comfortable, upright ergonomics, solid suspension, and enough wind protection to keep your torso from becoming a sail. Overall, the Kawasaki Versys 650 isn't flashy, but it's fiercely loyal. A blue-collar machine with white-collar brains, efficient, capable, and annoyingly hard to kill. If you want a bike that'll keep going long after your patience is worn out, this is the one. Number 2. Honda Shadow 750. The Honda Shadow 750 is the kind of cruiser that doesn't try to impress anyone, yet somehow ends up outliving everything else in the garage. It's old school, dependable, sturdy, and smoother than your uncle's pickup lines at a summer barbecue. A solid used one usually sits around the $3,000 to $4,000 price range, which feels like legal robbery considering it can breeze past 300,000 miles with ease. And yes, with regular oil changes and routine valve checks, it can flirt with 400,000. Its V-twin engine is liquid-cooled and mellow, which is exactly why it racks up such crazy mileage. It's not built for drama, it's built for consistency. The shaft drive is another massive win. No chain upkeep, no sprocket swapping, just ride and repeat. Fuel economy sits in the mid-40s per gallon, giving you long, unrushed rides without constantly hunting for gas or refinancing your lifestyle. It's low, comfortable, and won't destroy your spine on long hauls. It has that timeless cruiser style without demanding a big cruiser budget. And when something eventually wears out, which rarely happens, replacement parts are plentiful and hilariously cheap. You can literally buy new mirrors for less than a fancy sandwich. Overall, the Honda Shadow 750 is as dependable as gravity. It won't win drag races or steal hearts at bike night, but it'll still be running strong long after trendier bikes have become dusty garage decor. If you want a chilled-out cruiser that refuses to die, this is your forever machine. Number 1. Suzuki SV650. The Suzuki SV650 is the budget sport bike that decided to outlive everyone's expectations, and then kept going just to make a point. It's nimble, light, and far too fun for something you can pick up used for $3,000 to $4,000. But the real punchline is that riders have logged 300,000 to 400,000 miles on these bikes with nothing more than routine oil changes, valve checks, and a little mechanical respect. That's commuter-class reliability blended with weekend warrior fun. The secret is its liquid-cooled V-twin engine. It's punchy without being temperamental and durable without being dull. The power delivery makes you grin without forcing you to watch your speedometer like you're being supervised. And the thing is practically unkillable. The design is straightforward, parts are everywhere, and maintenance doesn't require a trust fund or a magic degree. Fuel economy hangs around 50 mpg, and the ergonomics land perfectly between aggressive and I can still walk afterward. It's a practical daily machine that moonlights as a canyon carver and sometimes a weekend warrior. Chain maintenance is simple, parts are everywhere, and the aftermarket options are a buffet. In the end, the Suzuki SV650 is the everyman's performance bike, one that quietly outlasts pricier machines over the long run. It's not trying to be flashy or intimidating, it just wants to run forever. And spoiler alert, it probably will. With that, we've reached the end of this video. Make sure to like it and subscribe to the channel for more upcoming content.